Manchester City are on their worst run ever. 4 losses in a row for Pep Guardiola. I think this probably equals his worst ever period as a manager. His managerial career has been with its ups and downs. Not many, but Pep Guardiola, despite losing 4 games in a row, not in the Premier League. In the Premier League, he's lost just 2 games. 4 games in all competitions has seen him and his side lose today to Brighton and Hove Albion. And Tariq Lamptey was not in action. His side had to come back from behind to win this game here. They are in crisis and it's not looking good. They are in a dark place. That is how Bernardo Silva described it. But today, my focus is on Iñaki Williams. He's likely to miss the Ghana final Afcon qualifier games. Ghana versus Niger and Ghana versus Angola first and foremost. The Inyaki's team, Athletic Bilbao, have provided an update to that effect. We'll get to look at that update, and we'll talk about 2 other Ghanaians who performed today. Early on today, Antoine Semenyo and his Bournemouth teammates could not continue from where they ended last weekend. After they beat Manchester City 2-1, they could not follow it up with a victory. So +1, -1. They started well versus Brentford, but Brentford had other ideas. It ended 3-2. We'll talk about it. Antoine's performance, not so great. We're also going to talk about other Ghanaian players who are in action. Unfortunately for West Ham and Kudus Mohammed, who is still out. 2 more games to go after this one. That'll be after the international break versus Newcastle and Arsenal. We'll look at all that today. Don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell to get more updates. We'll start off from the camp of Iñaki Williams and the injury news updates before we look at some performances from Ghanaian players yesterday included in the French League. Iñaki Williams and Ghana Black Stars preparing earnestly for that game, a final 2 Afcon qualifier games, and it looked like this was going to happen. Iñaki has not been included in the side squad that is going to face Valladolid. Williams in midweek, that's on Thursday, was able to help his squad come back from 1-0 down to win in the Europa League group stages, the league phase group stage it's being called now. Iñaki has not been included in it, and the medical report on Iñaki Williams from his club side, Athletic Bilbao, reads as follows. The red and white player, who is Iñaki Williams, will be absent for tomorrow's match against Real Valladolid. Now, the player Iñaki Williams has not been included in the list of players called up for the match against Real Valladolid. That will be played tomorrow. The forward has an overload in his hamstring muscles of his left leg and is awaiting further development. When the further development will come, how long it will take, your guess is as good as mine. But it's clearly a situation here similar to what happened with Thomas Partey in the last call-up. He has Thomas Partey was an illness, but Iñaki Williams, similar lines, if you ask me. I think it's unfortunate that that is the situation we find ourselves in, but the work schedule is a lot now, and to invite him to play in a possible AFCON qualifier dead rubber, it will be unfortunate to have him exacerbate his situation. He's an important figure for them. He's an important man for their campaign. He's an important player for them, so it's going to be great if they can have him in their fold, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Ghana will probably, and Otuado, I'm sure he would have been given the heads up by now by Athletic Bilbao. He would have been given the heads up and made known to him that his player Iñaki Williams is not going to be available. Iñaki Williams, a doubt after his hamstring injury has been confirmed here by his club, that is Athletic Bilbao. So that's it there on the front of Iñaki Williams. Last night, AJ Auxerre were able to overcome, that is Marseille, who have been in some good form. They beat them 3-1. Gideon Mensah with a good display for his club side. Today, Antoine Semenyo and his teammates could not continue with their good form they started off from last weekend. BFC Bournemouth were unable to win. They lost 3-2 to Brentford this time away from home, for not being able to follow up and giving Manchester City their very first loss of the season. Man City themselves were unable to win and recover. 4 losses in a row, as I said at the top of the show. 4 losses in a row. Pep Guardiola's worst ever form with the Citizens, and probably in his managerial career. Manchester City have to wake up pretty quickly. They've been ravaged with injuries. It is not looking good for the Citizens and Pep Guardiola, who would be a worried man right now. It doesn't look good at all for them. Brighton did not have Tariq Lamptey. Brighton did not have Tariq Lamptey in their fold. I don't know whether it means he was not in the squad at all. Same with Southampton man Kamaldeen Sulemana, whose side lost to Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-0. He was not in the team, the squad that played today. We'll be finding out what that means. Kamaldeen Sulemana, not that he has been called up and not that he's coming into play, but Tariq Lamptey as well. I'm wondering, he has been called up, but I don't know if he will be available for the Ghana Black Stars. So that is it there, looking at the performances of Ghanaian players today. It has not been great. The injury issues keep moving on. It will have to do without Iñaki Williams in a position in striking, which has already had its issues, meaning that Antoine Semenyo will probably be the only viable option for Ghana in that position. Tomorrow there'll be action from Arsenal and Chelsea. Thomas Partey, who is not going to be with Ghana during the international break, will possibly be in action for the Gunners. Obviously, he'll be in action for the Gunners. The Gunners themselves are not in a good place right now. 6 games, they've won just 2, if I'm not mistaken, and they've lost like 3 or so. So it's not been a great time for them. The Gunners need to find a way to start winning games. Also, tomorrow will be Manchester United versus Leicester City. We'll have Ghanaian players in action. That is Jordan Ayew and also Abdul Fattah Ishahaku. The players are expected to begin camping on Monday. Those who have played their game today, early kickoffs, will probably fly into the country tomorrow, and then camping begins on Monday fully. Monday evening, more players are expected to arrive in camp. We'll be giving you updates on that accordingly. So that has been it for today. Talking to you about the Ghana Black Stars players. Antoine Semenyo, his side unfortunate to lose to Brentford. Tariq Lamptey and his side beating Manchester City, second loss in the season, giving Liverpool the impetus. Should they win, they'll go 5 points clear. Arsenal will have to recover. Brighton were without Tariq Lamptey in their win. Kudus Mohamed's West Ham United keep struggling. They drew 0-0 today in a drop game versus Everton. Kamaldeen Sulemana absent in his side's loss. And looking at tomorrow's games, we'll have more Ghanaian representation. Your thoughts in the comments box on Iñaki Williams' absence, and if we should call a replacement, and if so, who should it be? I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.